Hi, my name is Jeff Brown, and this is my Phelddagrif, the Happy Purple Hippo deck. It is a Bant control, group hug, everybody wins, fun time deck. The deck runs a lot of basics. It runs 8 islands, 7 plains, 8 forests, the 3 friend lands, Forbidden Orchard. Every time you tap it, it gives somebody a colorless non-flying spirit. It runs a command tower, a reliquary tower, and then 3 control lands. The Ice Flow runs Core Haven and Maze of Ith. I run 1 Planeswalker, Jace Beleren. Everybody draws, everybody draws. And then I have my Everybody Wins Overdraw suite. The deck has a few different ways to win. My favorite way is to draw everyone out at the same time. Noble Benefactor. If it's put into a graveyard, everybody may search their library for any one card and put it into their hand. So usually if I've helped everyone a lot and the board state's out of control, I can help myself into a large removal. Braids. At the beginning of each player's upkeep, they can put an artifact, creature, or land card from their hand into play. What I'm trying to do with this deck is to get a huge board state so that I make everyone but myself the threat. So, don't look over here. Pay no attention to the man behind the curtain. Diviner Spirit, when it deals combat damage to a player, me and that player can draw cards. Tempting Worm, when it comes into play, every opponent may put any number of artifact, creature, enchantment, and/or land cards from their hand into play. Veteran Explorer, when he dies, everyone gets 2 basics. Hunted Troll, when he comes into play, put 4 1/1 blue fairy tokens with flying into play under an opponent's control. Magus of the Vineyard, he gives 2 greens on your pre-combat main phase. A Crow and Horse, this is a fun one. Enters play, you chuck it to somebody, and everybody else gets soldier tokens. Eldrami's Vineyard gives 2 greens on pre-combat main phase. Heartbeat of Spring, whenever a player taps a land for mana, they can add an additional. Heartwood Storyteller, whenever a player plays a non-creature spell, each opponent may draw a card. Rites of Flourishing, each player's draw step, they draw an additional card and play an additional land. Dictate of Kruphix, at the beginning of each player's draw step, they draw an additional card. Anvil of Bogardon, each player skips his or her discard phase. During each player's draw phase, they draw an additional card and then choose and discard a card. Otherworld Atlas, you put charge counters on it, and each player draws for each charge counter on it. Howling Mine, each player draws an additional card during their draw phase. Font of Mythos, at the beginning of each player's draw step, they draw an additional 2 cards. Temple Bell, each player draws a card. Gate to Ether, at the beginning of each player's upkeep, that player reveals top card of their library and put a creature, enchantment, or land card into play. And then my huge draw out spells. New Frontiers, each player may search his or her library for X basic lands and put them into the battlefield tapped. Then Shuffle, Blue Sun Zenith. The target player draws X cards. Shuffle Blue Sun Zenith into its owner's library. Collective Voyage, starting with you, each player may pay X, and you may search for X basics, which is why I run so many basics. Skyscribing, each player draws X cards. Minds Aglow, another Join Forces, each player draws X cards. And Forced Fruition, this is the one that gets everybody. Whenever an opponent plays a spell, that player draws 7 cards. So you pack their hands full, give them all kinds of stuff, and then make them draw themselves to death. This keeps the game going, because I don't want anyone to win but me. Arbiter of Null Ridge. When it enters the battlefield, everyone's life total becomes the highest. Wall of Denial, Defender, Flying, and Shroud. It just keeps them from... Oh, by the way, this is my Pillow Fort package right here. Defender, Flying, Shroud. It's an 08 wall. Mnemonic Wall, 04 Defender. It's kind of a really expensive way to get spells back from your graveyard. This guy's really good. Serene Master. When he blocks, exchange its power and the power of target creature blocking until end of combat. Wall of Omens, just a wall, draws a card. Wall of Blossoms, same thing. Ith, High Arcanus, he has a suspend for 2. He basically is the same as Maze of Ith, but on a creature. Untap target attacking creature and prevent all combat damage. That would be dope. I do that for myself and other players if I'm trying to keep somebody from winning. Wall of Frost. Whenever it blocks, it frosts a creature for a turn. Windborn Muse. Tax of 2 to attack me. Blazing Archon. Creatures can't attack me. Sentinel. When Sentinel comes into play, its toughness is equal to 1. Pay 0. Change Sentinel's toughness to 1 plus the power of target creature blocking or blocked by Sentinel. Ghostly Prison. Tax of 2 for every creature attacking me. Propaganda. Tax of 2 for every creature attacking me. Mystic Barrier. Choose a direction when it enters play. Players can only attack to that direction. Sphere of Safety. With all the other enchantments, Sphere of Safety can hit attacks of quite a lot. Norn's Annex. Pay a white Phyrexian for every creature to attack me. Farsight Mask. Whenever a source an opponent controls deals damage to me, I can draw a card. And then I've got my control suite. Rite of Replication. Now, it might not seem like a control, but if I make a whole bunch of Blazing Archons, it's going to take a lot for somebody to get rid of all of those, especially with all my counters. And then I have Deadeye Navigator. Super powerful guy. Pair him with Mystic Snake. Enters play, counterspell, or pair it with Draining Whelk, the same thing. When it enters play, counter target spell, and then pay 2 to bounce it and counter spells. Mystical Tutor gets me a counter when I need it. That's typically I can draw it right after I fetch for it. Soul Conduit. 2 players exchange life totals. Super powerful. Render Silent, counter target spell, its controller can't cast spells this turn. Memory Lapse, counter target spell, put that spell on top of its owner's library. Let's see, Swan Song, counter target spell, you get a bird. Arcane Denial, counter target spell, that spell's controller may draw up to 2 cards at the beginning of the next turn. Upkeep, draw a card at the beginning of the next upkeep. Rewind, counter target spell, untap up to 4 lands. And then I've got some removal here. Turn to Frog, Curse of the Swine, Disperse, Rapid Hybridization, Swords to Plowshares, Cyclonic Rift, Capsize, Beast Within, and then I've got my counter to Board Wipe, Natural Affinity. Somebody blows up the board, I blow up their lands. Redirect. If somebody's trying to take out another player, I'll just redirect it to somebody that isn't going to die from it. Fog. And Defend the Hearth. And then finally, Reigns of Power. Reigns of Power can usually steal me all their good stuff, and then I kill them with their own creatures, because I don't play a lot of creatures, and when I do, I usually attack with them just to get them killed so that I don't have a board state. So that's my Phelddagrif group hug deck.